feels right, 80% of the way there, just go for it.
Wow.
Take the opportunity. Fear is good. Fear can be excitement. You can flip fear into something else. You didn't become entrepreneurs to have a boring life. If you don't ask somebody, they can't guess what's in your head.
If you couldn't use your business, your name, what you do, how would you describe yourself?
I had to give this a bit of a think, and I came up with a curious opportunity taker.
Ooh, interesting. Can you please explain why you would go with that?
I'm always exploring things, curious. Every day is a learning day as an entrepreneur, that is for sure. Whether we like it or not, no 2 days are ever the same. Even if we plan them to be the same, they're not right. And if an opportunity comes up, I think you just generally know in your gut, is it a yes or is it a no? Sometimes it's let me have a think about it, but generally, if it feels right, 80% of the way there, just go for it.
Wow.
Take the opportunity.
Aren't you afraid that you're making the wrong decision?
I think when you get to about 80% of the way there, experience as well. Yeah, there's fear, but I think fear is good. Fear can be excitement. You can flip fear into something else, because we didn't become entrepreneurs to have a boring life either.
Where did you grow up? What was the environment like? And especially, what I'm really curious about, how were you when you were a child?
So I grew up in a very small town in Yorkshire. I am one of 3 siblings. I've got 2 older brothers. Nobody came from highly educated roots. There was no real expectations. My family always want me to just work hard, be happy. So do the best you can. I think I was a bit naughty. I was the person at the back of the class passing notes, not always paying attention, having a lot of fun. Not very serious about my studies either. Our hobbies in the weekend was taking down trees for colleagues of my dad, which usually ended up with somebody being in the emergency room, cut finger or something like that.
You wait, because I think I heard it right,
Yes.
but I don't think my brain fully comprehends it. You were taking down trees.
Yeah,
for fun.
as a hobby. Well, we had an open fire, so it was a good way. We're from Yorkshire. We like to save our money. So if we chop down somebody else's tree, we don't have to pay for wood, do we?
Wow.
So we used that.
Well, was that allowed?
Yes. Yeah.
Or did they pay you to?
No, I think it was just come and do this at the weekend. It's a good way to tire out the kids. And somebody usually ended up falling out of a tree or something like nothing too serious. But when I look back on it now, it was just like
crazy.
Yes, very physically tiring and something
so
to tire out
fun.
children. Yeah, but fun too. Yeah.
So you made or seen a lot of bonfires in your life then?
Yeah, oh my God, yeah.
Oh,
That's
wow.
probably where I get the rosy cheeks, because it's just like, yeah, I'm not a massive outdoorsy person. We didn't live on a farm or anything like that. I did have, my godparents had a farm, so I suppose that was it, yeah.
Take me to the part where you ended up in the Netherlands. Okay. What is the story?
I've worked in various jobs, started out in sales. I've worked in banks, and I'd actually, because we'd gone through the banking crisis, for anybody that's old enough to remember, 2008, both me and my husband, we met at the bank and we both got made redundant, and he was contracting for a Dutch company, so he'd travel over to The Hague quite a lot. And then he met somebody on a night out. He was one of the bosses, and they just really clicked, and he said, "You're going to come and work for me." And I just finished my contract, and I was like mid-40s. We don't have any kids. I'd already got the shiny red car, so I was already having my midlife crisis. So rehomed my cats, because we were going to move into rented on a road with a canal. I just couldn't see that was going to end well, and just went, let's see how it goes. It had been a dream of both of ours when I first met my husband. We always hoped to retire to the south of France, and that might still be on the cards. You never know.
Nice.
La la.
Yeah.
So we'll see, because I do like the Netherlands, but it's expensive. That is one of the things. So we've got to figure out whether the savings are going to keep us going. And when I say south of France, I don't mean Monaco. I mean somewhere just in the south, near the sea somewhere. So we'll see whether that happens or not.
So Julie, I am actually very curious. How many years have you been with your husband?
Now you put me on the spot. Nearly 30.
30 years?
Yeah, we met in 1998. So
what would you say is like the main thing in a relationship to make it last for at least 30 years?
It's communication. Time apart as well, that's important, having your own things. We do like to spend a lot of time together, so COVID wasn't a problem for us. But I think also if you're in a tiny like 60 square meter apartment, that's with anybody, even people that you love dearly, you might get a little bit. I'd just say have your own interests. He's an early bird, I'm a night bird. So, you know, I'm the person that likes to go out and he's a bit more of a homebody. Yeah, don't try and force things. You don't have to enjoy the same thing.
That's very good advice, because me also being in a relationship, I noticed, well, I'm not 30 years
No.
yet, but we will get there
Yeah.
hopefully one day. But I noticed that he is from like the Caribbean, so like a whole other world than the Netherlands, of course. And I noticed that I want to be on time. I'm very strict. I have like all these agendas, and
Yeah.
he's really relaxed, like extremely relaxed. And I noticed that when we have a thing going on, it's like a little bit of miscommunication here or there. And throughout the years, it's like 6 years now that we've been together. Now we have nailed it. We're like, okay, yeah, he wants this, I want this. We're finding like the middle ground. But in the beginning, it was a lot of struggling. And me watching a lot of Disney movies, I always thought, oh, happy ever after. You find
Yeah.
someone, done.
Yeah.
And now I realize absolutely not. It's a lot of work sometimes, and you need to invest it. With so many distractions and opportunities, and especially people out there that think like, oh, if this doesn't work, I will find someone else on a dating site. What would you tell them?
It is work because there's somebody else there with their own thoughts, minds, opinion, and you've got to be open to that. And also, you know, we always think we're doing the right thing, we've got the right opinion, but if that person's got your best interests, they're going to call you out on a few things, and you might not like that. So don't take things too seriously either. Just see a lot of broken relationships, a lot of broken families, and I just feel like maybe they just wanted to give it a bit of space, maybe have a little break from each other. But I feel like sometimes people go, no, that's it. And it's just like, people deserve a second or third chance. And also sometimes it's a really simple misunderstanding. And ask a friend as well. Get an outside perspective, because somebody might be saying, oh, you're quite harsh, or you're always doing this.
Actually really good advice, because when you're in it, you're so in it. And then, for example, when I asked my mom, she was just like, you're actually kind of mean. Oh. I'm like, oh. And it hurts when you get beaten.
Hurt,
it's
yeah.
like, no, I'm not. You want to defend yourself immediately.
Yeah.
But honestly, the other person is usually right, because they're not in it with all of the emotions and the feelings that you are having.
And it depends on the personality. I don't like arguments. I'm rubbish at arguing. I start crying. I get to like this far up angry and then woo. So that's really not me at all. So appreciate the sort of differences in your characteristics, because I think people that are exactly the same, they're not going to get on either.
You know, you host like crazy events. You have this whole community. I actually want to go to the story of that.
When I first moved here, I met my first business partner, who I met through Facebook. And then during COVID, I started going online networking because I like meeting people. I like hearing their stories. And I'm curious why they started and what their experience is. So many things as networking brought me. So I was like, there's something in this. The only thing was I started my business 1st of July. I'm like, right, I'm ready. Come on, let's do it. And of course, where is everybody on holiday? And I'm like, no, I'm ready. When are we doing it? I had to wait till September.
Your very first event, did you feel like nervousness?
It's the whole, people going to turn up, the sweaty palms, is the tech going to work? And tech still fails me now, just whether people are just going to sit there, just like, I don't know what this is about. But I think because the first people that came for me and they were going to come and support me, that helps. Just having friendly faces. And probably also try not to overreach yourself. And I don't mean don't try, but don't massive explosion and invite everybody and there's too many people for going to it. Challenge yourself, yes, but just don't go too crazy, because I didn't hire out the local conference centre or anything like that, or do TED Talks. Maybe not that on the first one, but yeah.
You host now a lot of events. You build like the whole community. And I'm wondering, for someone that's like sitting at home right now and wants to network, because you went to a lot of network events before you
Yeah.
hosted your own, right? So this person sits at home, is a little bit scared, wants to do it, but is maybe a little bit of a homebody, like your husband is. Like, I'm scared, but I want to.
Yeah.
What would be your advice for them?
They were going to try their first in-person event. So there's quite a few things you can do to prepare yourself. Reach out to the group leader, and they should be up for a conversation and just talk about how it works and talk you through it and anything you need to be prepared for. So things like if you need to do an elevator pitch or how they do the introductions. Get there in lots of time. So I'm not very fast cyclist. So if I look at the time, I always double it and check the weather, both apps, so that you don't get soaked and turn up like, Clothes, I would always say, if you're not sure how professional you need to be, is go a little bit higher than what you need to be. I'd rather be overdressed than underdressed.
Yeah.
Have you ever walked in a room and you just thought, oh my God, they're all wearing suits and I didn't know we were wearing suits? And I know that differs for which country. So I'd prefer to be. Try your outfit on as well, because you haven't worn it for a while. As my previous boss used to say, you might have shrunk in the wardrobe. So you don't want to be uncomfortable, anything that's chopping you in half or you can't do the buttons up or anything like that. Take a friend.
Oh, yeah, interesting.
But don't hang out with a friend while you're there. So you can eyeball them across the room. So go with them and leave with them, but don't stand next to them holding the hand.
It's easy to do that.
It's so easy to do that.
Yeah.
And I always say to people, if you go to a networking event where you do know a few people, is go hi, but go and sit with people you don't know.
So this person is on a network event right now, has no friends, like assume he or she went alone, and then they sit next to another person and just start a conversation. They just say hi. How would that go?
You could start with, have you travelled far today? Probably just not jump into the, hi, what do you do? That's like, have you been to one of these before? What are you looking forward to today? Is there a particular talk you're going to? And just try and break the ice a little bit, because if you're nervous and you say, I've never been here before, and they say the same, and then you can ask them why they came as well. There's so many things you can ask that's on a really human level, rather than getting straight into the, don't hand out business cards.
Oh, yes.
I see people do it like the $20 notes, and it's like, no,
Yes.
don't do that.
But people throw them away. Like, I have handed out so many. I've given out so many business cards. Nobody ever messaged me from the business cards. And I feel it's just a waste of paper anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I've got flyers rather than, just because it gives people the visual thing of the events. But for me, it's about, we'll get to that in good time. So it's a bit like, obviously dating apps weren't a thing all those years ago when I met my husband. But when you meet somebody on a first date, you don't ask them to marry you. So let's just dial it back a bit. And I don't mean casual, we're just going to do casual chit chat either. But let's just explore the conversation, ask them questions. There's that phrase, be interested, not interesting. Nobody wins any awards by doing the most talking. Leave a little bit of mystery.
Oh, interesting.
But especially if you have 5 services, you can't tell everybody in great detail about all 5. Is listen to what they're asking. Can you help them with one of your services? You don't have to tell them your life story.
I agree, because I've been to so many network events as well, and I noticed that people are they have this pressure on themselves to talk to so many people, which I had as well. But then, because you have this pressure, you don't build something genuine. It's just you work off the list, oh, I've talked to so many people, I've connected with so many people on LinkedIn, and I did it. But then you go home, you didn't build anything, you don't have real connection with anyone. And basically, it's a little bit like a waste. If 16-year-old Julie would walk in right now and see you and see where you're at that life, what would shock her the most?
It could be that she's achieved her dream of living abroad, and it feels comfortable. It doesn't feel hard. I'd probably say that 16-year-olds don't have confidence. So I think she'd be surprised that nothing stopped me.
Is there a simple method that you use when you feel all of the nerves and like you're shaking? Maybe you get like a little bit cold sweats when you do it.
Yeah, I mean, I help people in-person events with a structure to their introduction. I also time it. The structure I use is the wow, how, now, and this isn't mine, but I borrowed it from somebody. So tell a story or a start, because if you say, hi, I'm Bob, I'm an accountant, and you're like, don't need an accountant, brain switches off. Hi, I'm Samantha, I'm interior designer, was like, oh, I can't afford that, brain switched off. Whereas if you said, did you know your environment affects how you live every day? Or I can save you 500 euros this month on tax. You'd be like, hello, I'll have a bit of that. What's that about? So tell a story. So tell a story about how you've helped a client. I used to teach at a school up in Amsterdam. Students from all over the world. When I say students, they were older than me, some were PhDs. I was like, oh, this is a little bit nervous. And we used to I'd teach them various things, communication, but one was leadership. And then I challenge people that came to my networking events and say, are you a leader? And they go, oh no, there's just me in the business. We're like, yeah, but who's leading the business? And it's that mindset again of I'm just doing this little business and it's not really that important. And it's just like, well, it is important to you and your family because you're spending time and energy on it. So let's just own this thing.
What would you say to someone that feels like such like an imposter? They can do the thing, maybe they're learning a little bit, but they are just doing it, but they're like, oh, I'm so not good enough. I feel so much like an imposter. There are people bigger than me. What am I even thinking?
What's the worst thing that's going to happen? That would be my question to them. Being an entrepreneur is not linear. It's messy. Just remember you're human. Give yourself a bit of grace. If something goes wrong, own it.
When something really bad happens in your day, in some people's day, that completely ruins the entire day and then maybe their entire week even. How do you handle that? And do you give yourself a time frame to feel bad or to cry maybe?
It's only really happened twice that I can think of. And don't get me wrong, every day isn't a happy path. But two things that I was just like, oh my God, is first of all, be realistic. That we think, it's a bit like, when we create a marketing funnel, they're going to download the free thing, then they're going to book a call, then they're going to buy it. And it was just like, maybe they just go straight to buy it. Maybe they'll just do the other two things and never get in touch with you. So we go happy path, but things go off. Maybe just switch your laptop off and go and do something else and have a break and allow yourself. And sometimes I come back, especially if I've run an in-person session or been to an in-person session, I can feel really drained, tired. But I generally just have a coffee or something and then I carry on. If you feel tired or you're going to make mistakes, is maybe just stop. But also find out why that's happening, because if it's happening a lot, then find out what the issue is. Do you need some automation? Do you need some training? Do you need somebody else to do it? And it's really not your thing. But I would say is we're good at working all the hours, but we're never good at stopping. And you'll know that having a partner going, are you ever going to come off that computer?
Exactly.
Because my husband says that quite a lot. It's a surprise. But also use this opportunity of being a business owner is to flex your time. So we're probably working quite a lot of hours just now because it's winter and there's no reason to be outside. But hopefully when the weather's better is to go, I think I've done enough today. I'm going to go meet my friends and we're going to go sit on a terrace and watch the boats go by. You're allowed to do that. So give yourself a bit of, and that might be the lever to get away from the imposter syndrome, because it's almost like if I actually get on with this thing, then I might have some time in the summer to myself.
That's actually really good. What about someone that's so stressed and feels a little bit maybe the fear of giving him or herself the time to do something else? What if someone wants to get up and do something else, but then they're feeling behind, or they're like, oh.
I think we can all feel in that. And I used to call it, even when I was working, like the grip. And this is when I worked in banking. It was like, there's always going to be something to do. There's always going to be emails to do. And I used to say to myself is, those emails are going to be there tomorrow. And as long as I haven't overpromised, so be realistic. We all want to achieve, we all want to push ourselves, but we want it to be quality work as well. So I would say is, once you start making mistakes, it's time to stop or take a break. And also to just like regroup. So the thing is, if you work on your own at home, you don't necessarily have the water cooler moments. So that's why we have the co-working and the community. But you also have other freelancer friends, I'm pretty sure, that you just say, you free? Because my head is so full. Or you could just scribble it all out on a pad and just try and group them together and work out what comes before what. And really, when you write all down, it's not going to happen all today. What can wait? And sometimes the things that you thought you had to do today, you might never do. But for some, there's like the want and the need. What do I want to do? What I need to do. And I think that's a danger with social media. I should be on TikTok, or should I launch my YouTube channel? Oh, my YouTube channel's not good enough. Who says? Who's the YouTube police? So it's just do it, don't do it. Do it as it is, or just never do it. And it's just maybe go back to corporate. And I'm not telling anyone to go back to corporate. I'm just saying it's the most imperfect, messy, and God help you if you pop to the loo in the middle of the night and you have an idea, because that's it. I mean, the dog woke me up at 5 o'clock this week and it was like, nope, can't go back to sleep. So my brain, once the brain's on,
it's on.
We're working for the day.
Do you see a pattern on your events that people believe, but is actually the biggest myth about achieving or having confidence and success?
People that come out quite strong and I think, oh God, this is going to be amazing, and then they disappear. So that's, to me, the myth of success. So people that say, I'm going to do a video every day for 30 days. And it's just like, okay, I hope you've recorded some for when you feel really like you're not in the mood for it. The myth of success is, we would say, probably talking a good game. And then when you actually sit down and talk to them, it's not true. And some things can be embellished or made a little bit grander, but probably not your entire business.
If someone listening right now feels like you once did, especially on moments where you were very nervous or your confidence was very low or you did stuff for the first time, what is a sentence of advice you would give them right now?
Do it. Believe in yourself. When are you ever going to feel ready? If the time's not now, when is it going to be? And I don't mean the FOMO type thing, but it's just like, if you're feeling compelled to do something and you're almost there, is just do it. Mm-hmm. I'm not sponsored by Nike. It's just, what's the worst thing? Like we said about envisaging that I'm going to be sat here in 24 hours and everything's going to be okay, and it went well. And just take your time. Take your time. Try not to rush, but keep some momentum, keep yourself accountable, or work with somebody to keep you accountable. Make a little progress every day,
What would be the final message from you to your viewers?
I'd say, don't miss an opportunity. You don't know where it's going to take you. A conversation, a coffee meetup with somebody, the fact that you're watching somebody's content and you feel like they could be a really interesting person to meet them online, meet them in person. Just say yes.